Pokémon Legends ZA has officially released, and I finally finished the game. In all honesty, guys, this game is exactly what I was expecting it to be. Even though it did not exceed any of my expectations, I do feel like there are parts of this spin-off game that needs to make it all the way to the mainline series. Not that GameFreak would listen to reason, especially not from me. So for today's video, I will be covering what things Pokémon Legends ZA does really well. So stay right where you are, right here, right now. You're watching The Average Joe Show. Let's go rant about a children's game. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all have been doing very well. I have been doing good. I've been alright. This weekend, I made it my priority to actually go in and actually finish Pokémon Legends ZA. And I'm here today to basically throw down my thoughts to you guys. We're gonna basically separate this discussion into two separate, what I like and what I don't like about Pokémon Legends ZA. I will say we'll try to keep it a little bit more concise because while I was playing the game, really say to myself, I really like this part in Pokemon and I really hope they bring it over into the mainline or they can just scrap it. So I really did have these two kind of brain blasts and brain waves going as I was playing because they were very obvious to me. Just stuff that stuck out to me and stuff and really like solidified in my mind what I want Pokemon to actually do. Because all in all, guys, I will say it is the most standard Pokemon game you could ever get. There is no surprises. It is bare bone Pokemon. And if you like Pokemon, you're going to like the game. If you don't like Pokemon, you're not going to like the game. It is that simple. But what do I like? What would I possibly want Pokemon to keep from this game? Because what they've been doing with the Legends series is they've been straying off of the path and then not really keeping anything for the mainline games. But there are aspects in this game where they haven't explored in the mainline for whatever reason. And I would say the first thing that they really need to bring back, and it's very obvious, it is the Mega Pokemon. So Mega Pokemon have seen a departure, and this is the first game where they have come back in full force. They are very heavily involved in the story. There are a ton of them now. I do appreciate the increase of Mega Pokemon. There was a very large variety as you go through the game. And one of the main reasons why there had to be variety was because of the Mega battles, the Rogue Mega battles that happened throughout the story, and there was always 3. So basically you get to a part in the story where you had to basically progress, and the only way you could progress was to defeat 3 Rogue Mega Evolutions, and I did enjoy that. Now, it was a departure from Legends Arceus where it was kind of like at the end of every main story section, but in this game, it was more like towards the middle. It was kind of like what you did during the day, because there is a day and night cycle in this game. And it was like the thing that I tended to do during the day while I was waiting for the Battle Royale to spawn, basically. So I would go find the Rogue Mega Pokemon, beat them up, and then go into the night cycle so I could get the challenging tickets. Mega Pokemon have always been the best gimmick, and I will always go down and say that they are the coolest form of gimmick that we've ever gotten. Z moves are not good. Sorry, Sun and Moon fans. Gigantamaxing, VMAXing. You make your Pokemon bigger. Not good. It was just for you Pokemon Go people that decided to come into Pokemon. And terrestrialized Pokemon, they're not it. They're just not it. Mega Evolution makes sense, and you know they make sense because they are able to form the story around it. They are able to form scenes that are very not easy to do with the other gimmicks, right? So like, good example of how they couldn't use the Gigantamaxing in the Sword and Shield story is at the end of the storyline, or basically the end of the game before you go to Eternius. They're like, oh, there's Gigantamaxing all happening all over the place, right? And they couldn't actually show that. They couldn't actually use it as a very good story element. They had to rely that we were just okay with not seeing a bunch of Pokemon Gigantamaxing everywhere or VMAXing everywhere. Oh, they're not VMAXing. I'm just thinking of the cards, guys. I'm sorry. In the cards, it's VMAX. It's VMAX cards, Gigantamax, Gigamaxing Pokemon. That is hard to remember when you're both into the games and the cards, but you guys know what I mean. You guys are fans, you know. But in this game, they were really able to hone in on the story. And at the end of the game, here's some spoilers. I will say that right now. Towards the end of the game, Mega Pokemon start spawning all over the place. And they are dangerous. That is one thing. And you actually had to battle them. And that is one thing Pokemon has never been able to do in more recent years, is make super strong Pokemon and make it kind of like a challenge. Obviously, if your Pokemon are over leveled, it shouldn't be an issue for you. But if you go in with a bad type advantage, a Mega Pokemon is going to just take out your Pokemon every single time. But it feels really natural. It feels correct. It feels in the right place. And I really enjoyed the mechanic. And even further, once you get towards the end of the game, other trainers also, like computer players, will also Mega Evolve. So you're not the only one. And that was the biggest problem I had when they had Mega Evolutions in X and Y or As, was that if you go and fight someone, they generally, I can't really, unless they were a special character, will not Mega Evolve your Pokemon. So Megas need to stay. The gimmick should just be part of the main line right now. And I understand there's a bunch of rocks that you have to bring over every single time, but with the limited Pokedex that they have been doing for the mainline games, I think we have a good shot that they're just back, because I think they've tested out other mechanics and I just don't think that they're useful. I don't think that they are good for story. I don't think that they're good mechanics for competitive at all. Some Pokemon are just better than others, guys. It's like a natural selection types thing. And also Chikorita did get a Mega Evolution, and it's my favorite, even though it's just a scarf. But what else do I like about this game? Well, there is another thing that they haven't, since the jump into 3D, have not been able to capitalize on. And I know what you guys are thinking. Is it the real-time battle feature that they brought into this game? It is not the battle feature, the real-time battling. It is actually scaffolding. That's right. Scaffolding, ways to kind of make there be puzzles on the overworld for your actual character. Not your Pokemon, but your character, which hasn't been present since the 2D games. So in the game, there is a character that owns a company called Rasen Construction, and basically they're in charge of all the scaffolding and all the construction of Luminous City. So as the game progresses, this is also while the game is moving. Every time you get to a new area, more of this construction and scaffolding goes up. And it's basically like kind of like a platforming kind of thing. It's easy, guys. It's nothing that is difficult, but when you go and do these scaffolding kind of platforming sections, you will get better items that are on the scaffolding, and you'll also get a colorful screw, which can then be turned into the construction place and traded in for plush toys, for better XP, easier time catching Pokemon, all this little weak-minded additions to the game. In my opinion, and I played the game without upgrading a single plushie, it makes the game a lot more difficult, and luckily it is clearly an option, because I went through the whole game without spending a single colorful screw, and I enjoyed my game being more challenging, I guess. But I guess you basically do the platforms, you get a good reward for it, and it felt like you were riding your bike in Gen 3, like there's like some tricky parts where like the board is just a little bit too thin. They try to be a little bit puzzling, but it was always like pretty obvious. So I hope in the new games they find ways like that to make it feel a little bit more like they bring some like challenges, into it. Because like in Scarlet and Violet, with it just being so open, with a lot of like land and nothingness, there was nothing ever puzzling. There was nothing in the way of good items. They would just spawn all over the place. And I always felt that it was lacking that kind of puzzle challenge on the overworld, which has been missing since Sword and Shield. There was nothing like this in Sword and Shield era. It's something for you to do, and I think that's like the big thing. Like, how can that Pokemon needs to figure out, how can I make this big open world idea feel like there's something to do? And with only focusing in on one city instead of like a big open world, I think that kind of helped kind of bring to life that kind of, oh wait, we can do puzzling too kind of maybe some like little platforming bits. But what I would say, if they added a jump, that would open up so much more possibilities with this new kind of platforming idea. But keep it basic, right? Make sure there's a reward at the end and make sure that it's good. Don't throw them all over the place and make it look natural. That's all you really gotta do. As soon as they took away routes and route constructions, they went entirely away from anything difficult in terms of platforming. So I think they should bring it back. I really enjoyed it in this game, and it made sense. So that's really all I'm looking for. And speaking about making sense, the last part that I wanted to really talk about that I really liked about this game is something that they haven't been able to do in the past forever, probably since Black and White, is that they made Pokemon on the overworld look supernatural. Like, and I'm not saying like ingrained, right? Like supernatural, but like where they're spawning makes sense. You can have like, you can look up in a tree and could be a fletchling. There could be a panpour, like spots where they could, Pokemon realistically could be. And it's not just there's a water patch over there and a Magikarp should spawn there, but it's like making it real life. The spawns were not all over the place like they have been. Scarlet and Violet notorious for how they had things spawning where they would do like group spawnings, and the outbreaks just look terrible. In this game, even though it's in a city, they were able to really fine-tune objects and what you're looking at. You go by a trash can and there's Trubbish there, right? There's Garbodor there. If you go to the sewers, there are Noibats and that kind of thing. So they really honed in on that location and setting, and just the fact that they don't have so many Pokemon spawning, which could have been just because the game actually has to run on the Switch 1, which I'm sorry for you Switch 1 people out there. It definitely does not run good on the Switch. I haven't looked up any videos on it, but it can't run good on the Switch, and it probably runs very slow. But it felt so natural. I didn't feel overwhelmed with the amount of Pokemon that were on the map, and it just felt real. It felt real, and it's the first time in 3D they've been able to do it. And they added like taller patches of grass, even though the Pokemon were never like really in it. But like, like you crouch down, you're hiding, and you want to catch the Pokemon. It felt really, really good. I think the last thing I just want to say briefly is the amount of battling that is taking place in this game, which I think you all know if you've seen anything about this game. Battling's a big part of the game, which after the main game is done, since Sword and Shield, battling has been not a priority. Battling online has been, but battling in-game hasn't. They lowered the amount of XP candies, finally, that you can get in this game, which was being used as a crutch. So once you beat Scarlet and Violet, there is no more going back and battling like just random NPCs. In this game, you are constantly battling, and after the game, it gives you the option, if you choose to level up your Pokemon through battling, you have that option. Now, I'll have my full thoughts on the battling system probably in the next one, because I'm not really sure if I was all about it or not. I really have to hone in to its flaws and its pros, the pros and cons of it. But for right now, I can't say that I truly am a big fan of it. But I am a fan of being able to battle after the whole story's done, and I can level up my Pokemon throughout the game without having to do wild battles or alpha battles or something like that. That's just generally more my style, because I've had all the Pokemon games, and ever since they took it out in like X and Y, it's just been the Versus Seeker. It's been a drag, so I'm very glad that they brought it back, and I really do like it. So anyway, guys, that is what I do like about Pokemon Legends ZA. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a like for the average Joe. And remember, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We are growing, and be on the lookout for more videos kind of like this. They're more discussion, kind of like a podcast. So, you're at work and you want to listen to someone just talk about video games that you care about. That is what this channel is about. And leave a comment down below on your thoughts and your likes on Pokemon Legends ZA. I will be making a separate video about what I do not like about this game, because let me tell you, I got criticisms about this game, as well as I can like a game and not like parts of the game, and I think definitely this game has those. But we'll break it up into 2 videos and be on the lookout for that. So anyway, guys, have a great one wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.